Well, I got here just in time to drive Rock Shining Star, and I'm glad I did, because that would have been difficult to unpack just talking to Luke about the horse. I don't think there's anything major. Now, here's the spectrum for a horse like Rock Shining Star. His first start ever on a half, and I know I told you he trained awesome the other day. That's 2-3. 27 seconds for a horse with that kind of speed, not that hard to do. Flies dead. Not that hard to do, especially under wraps. When you have him in a much more stressful situation, like leaving 26 and a piece, cornering, it becomes uncomfortable for him, because truthfully, I don't know that he's ever trained on a half, he's ever been on a half. You know, some of our horses, you'll say, well, he's never raced on a half. Well, he's trained lots on a half. Whereas this horse, I have no idea. You know, somebody had asked me when we first bought him, is him not racing on a half concerning? Of course it's a little concerning. That was somewhat alleviated when I trained him. Now, we did get him shod this week. Was he a little footsore? Most times when you see horses like that, they're crossfiring, right? He just wears a long hobble and a set of knee boots, head pull and Murphy on the left. Pretty simply rigged as far as horses go. Not a lot of complicated harness on this horse, or shoeing, 4 full swedges. Now, I talked to the gentleman. Enos is spending some time, our blacksmith spending some time with his family. I don't blame him, but the show must go on. So I had another blacksmith actually shoe a couple of horses this week. A very nice gentleman, Chris Allen, does a great job. He was right there when I come off the track, and I said, crossfiring a little bit. You know, we can help him a little bit. I don't want to start getting too extreme. I just sent him a message and I said, Chris, I can't be there in the morning. I have to go to Kentucky. Can you do me a favor? Can you test his feet? Go over his front feet. I don't want to start complicating the situation. It may be as easy as his front feet. Let's see what that says first. I can hear him clicking a little bit. That horse did a hell of a job to stay upright, right? Had a gear in the first turn, had a gear in the second turn, a little bit less in the third turn, paced the far turn, but we were only coming 30 seconds. So it was speed, corners, and the horse. Tons of speed. I never pulled the earplugs. I couldn't. When would I have time to? I was too busy fishing for room. I'd only run into Ronnie about 3 times from the 3/4 pole to the head of the lane. You know, I had to kind of shove him over to hold position in the 2-wide path, and then as he got running in a little bit, it felt to me like maybe he's at a soap a little bit, but as we got further through that turn and he started catching up to a helmet, then the nice horse started to kick in and he grabbed a hold of me again. Well, now I'm pinned behind Hunter Myers. I already greased Ronnie twice to hold position where I did. He's not giving me much room. Now, he gave me room once he knew I couldn't possibly shoot back on to win. And he knows the horse a little bit. He said, you know, I think if you had just dropped him in 4th and come first over, you win. Well, I don't know him, and I don't know if that's accurate, because he still would have had to go through the same turns he did when I left with him. He still would have struggled. So, what did we just see, and how do we fix it? Step 1, we're going to draw his blood to make sure. I don't think there's a whole lot there. I noticed his tail pop up as we were leaving the gate, but usually you'd say, oh, I might have tied up. I don't know. He's a pretty cool customer, this horse. I want to scope him tomorrow, make sure there's no redness in his palate. I did score him down because I wanted to make sure he could go through the first turn. So I did score him down. Then I had to stop him. If there was any airflow interruption, you're going to see that tomorrow. There'll be a little bruise on his palate. So we'll check there. We'll draw his blood to make sure everything's all right. That's that out of the way. There's nothing going to be found to fix him in there, I don't believe. It's going to be in his footwear, I believe. More particularly his feet, his front feet. So I had asked Chris to go over him tomorrow, you know, really clamp down on his feet, look at them very, very closely. What I'm looking for are his corners of his heels also. Little pigeon-toed, that means he's going to put pressure in odd places, especially that outside wall of his foot. And if that corner, we've seen this before, the last pigeon-toed horse we had bought, oddly enough, was also from Ronnie. And I know exactly how we shot her and exactly how good she was immediately as soon as we shot her. A part of me wanted to test his feet, but he trains so good. We can only train him so hard. We only got him on Monday or Tuesday. That means you have to jog him. You can't just throw him in the bike and go. You have to jog him, make sure he's okay. So I'm curious, how are his front feet? That to me screamed front feet, that performance tonight. Two very important takeaways. 3 very important takeaways. Fast, classy, got a few wrinkles in him we got to work on. Nothing major. I would not be shocked if I got a call from Chris tomorrow morning saying outside corners of both his front feet are pretty sore. We can help that. I'm not disappointed with what I saw today. Am I a little concerned? August 17th is the Gold Cup final. August 10th is the first leg. It's July 28th. He just paced 52-3 and was a little rough in all, well, not the last turn so much, but definitely the first three. Is it concerning? Yes. Am I terribly worried? No. Pretty sure whatever I just witnessed, and I had a better view than you, can be fixed. It's not lameness. It's not. When we're talking about front feet, it's just mild soreness, and we can alleviate that. What do we do next? That's a tomorrow question to answer. I'm just talking out loud about what I just saw from that horse. The three major takeaways for me, as I said, fast horse, class. He could have made a break in any of the first three turns easily. Chose not to, worked his ass off through them. And then, as I said, a little bit of soreness. I would wager good money we're going to have a very good conversation with Chris tomorrow, and he's going to tell me that that horse's corners of his feet are, at least the outside corners of his feet, where he puts all that pressure, they're a little bit sore. That, I'm certain we can fix. Or help, anyway. So that's where we're at with Rock. I'm not, as I said, definitely, and again, worst case scenario, not suited for a half. Okay, Save America is. We can still race in there too. Wouldn't be the first horse to get around a half and still win. You just have to change your tactics. If that's what we have going to PEI or a version of that, you're not going to be leaving with them 26 seconds in PEI. I can assure you of that. But I wouldn't be. I don't think he'll shy away from any sort of speed. If I get a clear shot from the head of lane to the wire, I'm a winner. 52-2, 52-1. And he was not at his best tonight, but will be. Okay, that was him. I guess we'll work our way backwards. Westland Warrior, much better today. Surface, change of equipment, little shoeing change. Eric has him good down there tonight. I have not talked to Scotty yet because they delayed the races. They may still be racing there for all I know. But I suspect he's going to have a much better impression of Westland Warrior. Now, in fairness, okay, I can play devil's advocate and say, okay, we were last coming out of the turn. He had a clear shot from the head of lane to the wire. Breaker, shot through, and finished up adequately. Did he look explosive? No. He looked fast. Finished up good. Trotted through the wire. After the wire, he was past the horses, so I was happy with that. But I have not got an official rundown from Scotty yet. Memento Mori running in a little bit. I don't think Scotty was in a rush with him, which I don't really blame him. I'm perfectly fine with that. Had he held position in the last turn, for sure he wins the race. But not the end of the world. Most importantly, this was his first start. He's been off a couple of weeks. We were dealing with some issues. Eric clearly has them under control. The horse finished up, and the line is clearly wrong. They didn't come 32 seconds. They come 27 and a piece, 28 on an off track. I would suggest Memento Mori's last quarter was 27-4, 28-1, somewhere around there. The horse looked good. They both look great. Michigan Sunset Acres Girl beat fair and square by one of her foes that she's been back and forth with over the last 2 years. Raced okay. Not great, but okay. And Mountaineer Prince, man, I was frustrated with myself a little bit. I saw the break, and immediately I boiled over. Now, I wasn't going to let a break in a Michigan Fair endanger the life of my phone, but I was very angry. And I talked to Lauren after, and she said, no, they warmed him up, and he was making breaks in the warm-up. So it's not the gate. For those of you that think it's the starting gate, and I told you it wasn't, I couldn't prove it because he's never shown a mile behind a gate where he didn't run. But if he ran in the warm-up, it's not the gate. And I don't know what he thinks he's doing, but I will find a day in the next few weeks that I am free, that he can be entered into a race somewhere in a Michigan Fair. We'll see what he's up to then. We'll see what's up with Mountaineer Prince then. Because that right there is beyond unacceptable. I trained that horse faster than probably everybody in that entire field might ever go. And you know, certainly not Donnie's fault, just with the colt. What I saw tonight was a horse looking to get out, and the first opportunity he did, that's exactly what he did. That will come to an end very, very soon. There'll be no more of that. I think Lauren said that Ludlow and what the hell was that one? Started with an M. She said that one might be easier. I don't care if I have to fly in and take an Uber. I got to get to the bottom of this. It's going to drive me crazy. You know, we're in Kentucky. I just raced in the Adios. We have a lot going on. But you know what? No man or horse left behind. And this horse, I'll tell you one thing. This is going to bother me for most of the night. Now, in regards to tonight, I'm flabbergasted as to what's taking place tomorrow. Apparently they're going to try it now. It rained all night, so if you've ever been to Lexington, any sort of shower destroys the track, right? It's an old clay track. They scraped it, and raced on it all night. You saw how the miles were for the most part. Chance of rain tonight, chance of rain in the morning. They're planning on qualifying 7 horses starting at 10:30. Now listen to this. 7 qualifiers starting at 10:30. Then we're in the non-betting races that they have slated for 12:30, and the second one to go right out the door after, slated for 12:37. Where are we to warm those horses up? I guess we have to go to the Stone Dust half-mile track in the middle to warm them up. So now we have Green Glitter and Grand Slam Deal, who can't help but be half-assed warmed up tomorrow with the schedule they have on at the track. And then as soon as we're done rushing around, by the way, the races start at 1 p.m. Race 1 is Rosetta. Where the hell is she going to warm up? How are we going to get her warmed up? Eric said he's got it all figured out. I take everything pretty easy. I just don't understand how that's going to fly tomorrow. Now, I'm sure Gymboree and Etron will be fine because they're in the middle of the card. Now, I could drive till 2 o'clock in the morning, get to Lexington, drag my ass out of bed at 9. I could drive to Cincinnati, wake up at 8, drive down there. Or, you know what I could do? I could just go to my place here in Brunswick, get up at 5:45, have a shower, shave, grab some Starbucks, and be on my way. No, it'd have to be 5:30, because if I get out of there, if I get out of the town of Brunswick by 6 a.m., I'm at Lexington at 20 after 10. That should be more than enough time for me. I felt bad that I took Luke Hanners off the horse, so I gave him $100 tonight. I said, hey, I'm sorry. I said, but this horse got the Gold Cup coming up, and I want to look under the hood. And no disrespect. I appreciate it. So $100 I gave him, I'll save by not renting a hotel. And I'll go home tonight. I'll go to Brunswick tonight. Get up in the morning and go directly to Lexington. Hoping for a good day tomorrow. We had a good day tonight. Right? Good night tonight. It was a great first start for Memento Mori. We get to look at the top tier also this week and decide whether we want to go there. I can happily tell you that he's scoped with no mucus and no blood tonight. So he's back on track, trotting better and looking strong. His next start will be infinitely better than tonight. And I think it's worth noting also a tremendous job done by Kathy and Eric and Dr. Roberts, making sure that these horses are set up to race, right? We had Pickpocket coming in off Lasix, racing off Lasix. He trained the other day, I believe. No blood. Memento Mori showed a few specks. Nothing tonight. It takes a lot of hard work and a diligent schedule, and I appreciate that. A great job by them. I'll be down there tomorrow, and obviously my eyes will be on Gymboree. I think this is quietly one of her better horses, but she has had some issues with bleeding. A little bit. It's concerning when you have a 2-year-old do it. But as I said to everybody, I catch myself thinking the same way, but are you telling me that everybody scopes all their 2-year-olds? I don't think so. If a trotter that goes out and trots at 56, 28, 3 in the end of it, why would you scope it? Unless you wanted to know. And I did. That little bit of bleeding we saw has been dissipating every week. And what I found now after being in Kentucky is, for some reason, that track is just so forgiving. The horses, the aches and pains they have, that stress level drops, and I think a lot of them, that bleeding, that again, if you have a hardcore bleeder, it doesn't matter. It's going to bleed. But if you have a horse that bleeds a little bit, I think it does help quite a bit being there. So I'll be very curious, although I'm super concerned about the warm-up schedule of Green Glitter and the warm-up schedule of Grand Slam Dio and even Rosetta. I'm very worried about that schedule tomorrow. Eric has told me, he said, we got it covered. That was his note. I like it. To the point, blunt, nice and easy. We got it covered. Okay, cool. That is awesome. I'll be there to go last trip, wherever we warm them up. I don't know, in the parking lot, on the road. I don't know where the plan is, but I'll be there to go last trip with the fillies. They go 12:30 and 12:37. Last trip is 11:30. I plan on being there an hour before that, even with traffic or a little, even with traffic, or if I get away a little slower than I want, still lots of time. I got an hour window before we're supposed to go last trip. So that's a plan for tonight. Really excited about the 5 in Kentucky. Keeping an eye on Drebin. I have to reach out to the vet and ask them to pull blood on Drebin. He's going to come and race at the Meadows next week in preparation of his trip to the Beale on the 17th. Yo, mister, huge update here. Oh, my goodness, I'm going to have to send a note out. I'll send the note out via email before anybody, my partners, hear this. Going to scratch him tomorrow. He's a little bit sick. Harry called me and said he's got some mucus. No temperature. He's eating good, but there's quite a bit of mucus. I suspect he might be a little pickier in the morning. So I guess it won't be official till tomorrow, but my answer to Harry is quite simple. We can't afford a bad line with this horse, and I can't afford any more setbacks. So with him, if he's not great tomorrow, don't race him. So I suspect come tomorrow morning around 9:35, I'm going to be getting another text or email from Harry or both saying, I think we're going to scratch Yo Mister. So Yo Mister looks like he's going to be out for tomorrow. I know that's probably not what people want to hear, but I can assure you it's much better than watching him getting pummeled tomorrow at Mohawk. Great Bet is in tomorrow. I think I looked and he was longer odds than I thought he'd be. 6-1. I'm a little surprised. 6-1, he's in tomorrow. Save America's in tomorrow. I'm going to get Megan to draw blood on him also right away in preparation of coming here. Here and then off to PEI. Now, the elimination's on the 10th. Today is what, the 28th? There'll be no racing him back before he goes to PEI. We'll probably train them up really tight or potentially school them a little bit. If we schooled them on Thursday and they left next weekend, would that be time enough? I believe it would. I think that's exactly what we can do. School both those horses next Thursday at Northfield Park. Or if Kirby would like to leave from Mohawk on Saturday or Sunday morning, which would be a week out, then we can... I'm trying to think of the time frame here. How is that? Right, Saturday. Okay. We could school the horses at Mohawk also and just leave the next day. That's a possibility. Actually, that might make more sense. It wouldn't really give me a better barometer of Rock Shining Star, but at the same token, as I said, I think tomorrow's investigation of his front feet, I think would bear some fruit, if I'm not mistaken. And obviously, Brace for Landing. Now, where's he at? 10-1, 28,000 class, Chris Christopher. A little tougher than I would have hoped, but it is what it is. And then 10-1, if this is the same class, Mountaineer's a 90-100. It's not the same class. If he looks like he has a shot in here, I think he's going to be much, much better tomorrow, this horse. Second start for Tyler Jones. He knows the horse better now. Where did we draw? Post 4. You're right in the middle of the gate. I think you might see a good showing tomorrow from All Gas No Brakes. We'll see. We'll see what's up. And then right after Kentucky, I'm going to head back. Tuesday morning, we're going to qualify some horses, school some horses at the Meadows. As soon as the schooler's over, I'm going back to Mohawk. I'm going to race Century Legion, see if we can't get a good outing out of him. You have a look under the hood, so to speak, of that guy also again. And that's it for Tuesday. Wednesday afternoon, I know I'm in the Meadows. Wednesday night at Northfield. Thursday afternoon, Meadows. Thursday night, Columbus. I can tell you right now for sure, we have stake races in Scioto on Friday, and we have stake races in the Meadows on Friday. I will be staying with Arrowhead Hanover. I can assure you of that. And then next Saturday, it was brought to my attention twice today that both post times for next Saturday, for whatever reason, are 5:10. I'm almost certainly going to Scioto as we have the Colts. It's the Ohio State Fair races on Saturday. So I want to double check. I hope Arrowhead Hanover is Friday. I really hope he is. And then Saturday will be Ohio for the Ohio State Fair. A lot of people asking a million questions. Why can't Freedom Hill go in the, Johnny, you're not the only one. Why can't Freedom Hill go in the Ohio State Fair? Because 5 days later is the Buckeye. The Ohio State Fair will have 3 divisions minimum, maybe 4. I'm almost positive of that. It's $160,000 divided by division. I could easily see them going for 40. Well, 40, if she catches the wrong horse, it's going to be tough sledding. She's second or third best. She's shown she is. There's nothing wrong with that. But she is first best, I'm almost certain, in Urbana. Now, I don't think I can go to Urbana, and I don't really think that should play a role in any sort of concern. She's a pretty sure-footed filly. Brett will be there. There's lots of drivers that'll be there. Freedom Hill is first best in the Buckeye, and I don't care who she draws in with. I just don't think there's a Buckeye filly that can trot with her on a half-mile track like Urbana. I don't see it. I could be wrong. I don't want to sound arrogant about it, but I've seen most of the fillies right now, and there's some good Buckeye fillies also, but none better than her. So what I'm looking for is points, obviously, and having a good outing, get some money made with her. I think the potential to race for $40,000 or $50,000 and catch one of Burke's, or there's a good, make no mistake, there's 10 or 11 pretty capable fillies in Ohio. And it's not that I think Aunt Lily is a tremendously better horse than Freedom Hill, but I think she is a little bit better horse. She's already won a big race at Scioto. She's a bigger filly who probably wouldn't get around Urbana good. And I don't think we need to focus on the Buckeye final with Aunt Lily just yet, unless we're forced to, but I don't think we're going to be. I think next week, Gorgeous Package, yeah. Somebody asked me, why not Gorgeous Package? My initial response was the Buckeye. Goes on the 14th, you're right. She can win it. She going to be a long shot? Yeah, she's going to be 10, 15 to 1. It's okay. She's coming off a lifetime best. My father always said, never bet against a horse that took a lifetime mark in its last start. I don't know if that's great information, but it helps. She's going. Roser and AJ will go. Again, same type of thing, but they're not going to look at a place. Gypsy Hill and Irresistible Sun, they'll be there. Aunt Lily will be there. There's 5 right there. Now, maybe they'll have some on Friday and some on Saturday. I will commit to one thing. If Arrowhead Hanover is in on Friday, I'm driving Arrowhead Hanover. I will tell you that right now. 100%. I like him too much. He's probably one of our best horses, and I want to be there to drive that horse. So if he's racing on Friday, regardless of who is supposed to race in Scioto on Friday, I'm not going to be there. I'm going to be in the Meadows. Saturday, I'll have to look at the schedule. I hope all the Ohio State Fairs are on Saturday. Hope they all are. Hope we have a great night of racing. And I'm not against Freedom Hill going there. I'll talk to Jason tomorrow. See what we come up with. I just want to put this filly in a position to do the best for us, do the best for herself. And I truly believe there's going to be 3 divisions of the Ohio State Fair for 3-year-old fillies minimum. That's $55,000. Just so we're clear. Half of that's 27. Half of that is 13. So anything outside of second, you would be making less than going to Urbana and winning a Buckeye. And there is, of course, there is no gimmies. There's no guarantees. I can't possibly tell you right here, right now, don't worry, Freedom Hill will win. I would find it hard to believe that if she didn't beat herself, i.e. make a break, or heaven forbid I or whoever's driving her drove her bad, I don't foresee a way that she isn't very close. And that's my most humble way of saying she should probably win in Urbana. Oh, he'll know. We'll be there. I don't know that we're going to take high hopes. I think we got her going in the right direction. I don't even want to race her at Northfield on a tight track. Urbana's even tighter. I don't see her trotting around that track, and I don't want it to turn into 1 step forward, 2 steps back. So I'm more apt to say no. We're not going. I could race her at Scioto in a maiden, or race her at the Meadows. I wish she was a little bit better right now. I would literally put her in the Ohio State Fair, knowing, and I might anyway, knowing that she's outmatched, but a little different situation. Want to get her racing comfortably, much like we did with Gypsy Hill. That's not to say, and I tell everybody, there is some major comparisons. The gait, where they interfere, how they act. High Hopes and Gypsy Hill are very, very similar. Two different sexes, two different fathers, totally different family, but very, very similar gait. Very similar mannerments. She folds up and makes breaks. You guys remember what Gypsy Hill was like at the start of the year. Now look at them. Wins in 56 the other night at Northfield. Once you get their confidence up and you get their mechanics moving properly and fluid, then you can move them back onto a smaller track. And that will be our goal with High Hopes. If she's as good as I think she is, I can't possibly compare her to Freedom Hill or Aunt Lily or even Oh He'll Know right now. But I think we might be able to try towards the end of the year. And that will all depend on how we manage her. I want to keep her moving forward. I want to keep her on a bigger track. I want to keep her confidence growing. So as I say it and I talk about it out loud, you may see her show up at the Ohio State Fair, not because I think she's a sleeper, but because she should be racing on a 5/8. And other people's horses can make mistakes too. If we don't break rule number 1, catch a soft crew, who knows? And I'm not excluding Freedom Hill. My take on this filly right now, first and foremost, I think we got a real good horse. I think a second and a third probably secures her a spot, or should possibly secure her a spot in the constellation of the Sire Stakes. So now we have a job. Get her in the Buckeye Final. Win the Buckeye Final if you can. That's our number one goal right now. Not race her in a place she's going to be 8 or 10 to 1 because they're going to go for a little more money. Put her in a place she's going to be 2 to 5 where she's supposed to win. That would be my take on the Freedom Hill situation. So we have a lot going on this week, but I was happy. I'm not going to say I'm disappointed with Rock Shining Star. Horse never raced on a half. It's unfair to think that he should just go out and blast. He felt great. Horse did just pace in 52 and 3, 52 and 4, whatever they charted him with. He did finish up with the earplugs in, and if I have a clear shot from the head of the lane to the wire, I do win the race. No two ways about it. But does that win him the Gold Cup and Saucer? Geez, that's hard to say. But I am confident we can get those few little wrinkles out of him. As I said, most importantly, fast horse, classy horse, has some issues to work with. Lots of paths there for this guy. So with that, I'm going to let you go. I am going to go inside. It is 11:13. I'm going to get a good night's sleep. I'm going to set my alarm for 5:30. I'm going to get up, shower, shave, Starbucks, right to Kentucky. For those of you waiting down there, maybe you're in Lexington right now, I will see you tomorrow. For those of you tuning in, good luck to all my partners tomorrow in Kentucky. Take care. Oh, I have a lot of people asking also. Ollie's team lost extra innings. And that was the semifinals. I don't know how the schematics of it, and those of you out there with minor league baseball, you know what I'm talking about. The way that they work everything is a little odd. The two best teams in his loop, his division, possibly the entire province of Ontario that I've seen. Now, that's not true. The team in Toronto, Leaside, very good team. Outside of them, I believe Waterloo, who beat Guelph, and Guelph, Ollie's team. And they both played great. It was a nail-biter. Oh, my God. So the same as Major Leagues. Top of the 8th, because they only go 7 innings in the Little League. Top of the 8th, runner on second. He scores. We have the lead. 6-5. Bottom of the 8th, they come up. They score 2 runs. Second and third, wasn't 2 out. It was 1 out. Second and third, 1 out. The kid hits a screamer down the right field line. Ends the game. So the kids obviously were crying and upset. But Ollie played good. His team played good. It was a very, very, very exciting game. Now, they have to play, Waterloo and them, they're in the same division. They have to play to see who goes to the provincial championships. They have to play Waterloo best of 3 next month. And that will be an intense battle. So, Ollie played good. I posted a video of him hitting a double. He had a fly out and made some good plays at third. I was really proud of the way he handled himself in the diamond. And every time I see him play, he just seems better. right? And I don't care about, I'm not one of these guys, oh, my son's going to play in the MLB. It's not about that. I just like to see him mature. It's much like how I rave about how the Colts or the Phillies are getting better. He's such a better horse now, you know. He put some training in him. I see that with my son too. The same thoughts go through my head, and very proud of the way he played today. So lots more baseball, lots more horse racing coming up over the next little while. We did have a good night. Very pleased with the start we had in Kentucky, a second and a fourth, but a very good second and fourth. Happy with Sunset Acres Girl. She did what she could. Very, very disappointed with Mountaineer Prince. I'll be coming to see you in the state of Michigan very, very soon. And happy with Rock Shining Star. I think what we purchased is what we got. Very nice horse. Do I have some concerns about a half? Yeah, more timing than anything. I think I want to hear from Chris tomorrow say, corners of those feet are a little bit sore. You know, we'll put a set of mushroom bars on him, train him up real good, and see how he feels. He's coming to PEI, so he won't be the first horse to get there that coming off of big tracks. So don't worry too much about that. Keep in mind, he did pace the first quarter in 26-3 tonight, and he did pace a mile and 52.5 mile track with the earplugs in and a little bumpy in the corners. Our job, take the bumpy away. Then we'll have a good horse and a half. That's the plan. So with that, to all my partners and all the horses today, we did have a good day at the office, coming off just an absolutely tremendous weekend, one of the best weekends we've had. And that's saying a lot because we've been on a bit of a tear this summer, and we're going to hope to keep it going tomorrow also. So I will talk to you on my way to Kentucky, but for right now, I'm going to bed. I'm going to have a good night's sleep, get up. I will be speaking to you somewhere around 6:30 tomorrow morning. Take care.